Republican Party infighting, now that everything's showing that the Senate is turning blue, is just getting completely out of control. And I would feel sorry for the Republican Party, and only I don't feel sorry for them. And the reason I don't feel sorry for them is the simple fact that they spent the last 6 years kowtowing not to the American people, but to Donald Trump, who is the very source of who is responsible for them losing, for the reason they didn't have a quote-unquote red wave in this country, why they didn't take over the Senate, they didn't take over Congress, although some races in Congress are still being out there, still being counted, votes being counted, especially in Arizona and Nevada, and especially since after even the Georgia runoff, the Republican infighting is just incredible. But it's not just the Republican infighting that should worry all of you. Well, it shouldn't worry you, but that I'm talking about is the fact that the Republican Party is eating Trump alive. Well, let me put it this way. The Republican Party that's not MAGA. And don't take this my word for it. Take a look at these clips from some of the biggest voices of MAGA. But voices of the Republican Party and voices on Fox News and whatnot. All saying that Trump should go. Trump has to go. It's over. Trump has to go. It's over. Don't take my word for it. Take a look at this.
Problem, I don't think there's any question in my mind that hurt Republicans all over, is Donald Trump.
Some were also knuckleheads with strange beliefs and closets full of problems. Many of these remarkably weak candidates came courtesy of Donald Trump.
There's a very high correlation between MAGA candidates and big losses.
A true leader understands that it's time to step off the stage.
Going into 2024, the Republicans are going to be looking for candidates who are focused on winning, not just making a point or settling a score.
We have a tremendous opportunity going forward. Donald Trump should not be a part of that. I just wish he would ride off into the sunset.
I just wish Donald Trump would fly off and ride off into the sunset. That's my wish too, because quite honestly, he's poison, straight up poison to the Republican Party. No, actually not just the Republican Party, but to the entire country, to this country's politics completely. But we all know that's not going to happen. But then again, who knows? He's scheduled to make his big time announcement later on. I think next week, is it? Yeah, next week. But before all that, the red wave that didn't happen. It didn't happen because Donald Trump happened. He puts up a bunch of clowns up for election or endorses people for re-election that A, did nothing while they were in office and letting him run roughshod across the country, that B, embraced his big lie about the 2020 election, or C, and this is the most important one, and this is about Carrie Lake as well, have already said before the election even started that he wouldn't accept the results of the election, if they lose. Quote, if they lose. But the problem is that everyone, apparently outside of MAGA, is seeing the problem that Donald Trump is. And we're not just talking about a bunch of pundits out there. We are talking about Fox News, we're talking about ONN, we're talking about Newsmax, and more to the point, we're talking about Republican leaders that stood by and let this man run roughshod over this country. Take a look at these clips.
If the voters conclude that you're putting your own ego or your own grudges ahead of what's good for the country, they're going to look elsewhere, period.
Governor DeSantis is the biggest single winner of the night, and he will almost certainly become the rallying point for everybody in the Republican Party who wants to move beyond President Trump.
I mean, I think Trump's kind of a drag on our ticket. I think Donald Trump gives us problems politically.
Trump needs to take a good look in the mirror.
It cracks me up that these people who are now losing power are saying that Donald Trump needs to take a look in the mirror. That was Candace Owens saying that he's a drag on our country and our party. Paul Ryan saying, where was that saying when Donald Trump was ripping this country apart? Where were you saying that? Republicans? MAGA? The fact is this. Donald Trump caused you to lose your races because, one, a lot of us are tired of the fake election stolen BS that has put our country and put our elections and put our country's elections at risk over and over again. And two, because every time you Republicans scream how bad Biden is doing and everything else, you have shown that you haven't even given us a hint as to how you will do things differently if you actually won those elections. Now, mind you, still, the Senate is still 49%. Well, excuse me. The Republicans have 50 seats. And we're still dealing with the Georgia runoff that could possibly, the way it is now, could possibly be an even split between the parties in the Senate. Kamala Harris would be actually the tiebreaker. But here's the question I've got for all of you in this. Did you expect something different after year of pounding us with the stolen election and the false election, all that kind of crap that Donald Trump and Kerry Lake and so many Republicans have shown us? Did you expect anything different? Obviously, Mary Jean Taylor Greene thinks so. Otherwise, she wouldn't be on Steve Bannon's podcast saying this crap.
Very, very important. Now, they're trying to blame President Trump today, and I want to tell you how short-sighted and ridiculous that is. It is pathetic. The people that are running out saying, it's Trump's fault. No, that is a lazy, pathetic, wimpy, easy mindset. They just want one thing, and then they want to carry on without doing the hard work, the real changes in the Republican Party and the way we fight the fight. Here's why it's not Trump's fault. Trump has been being politically persecuted for the past 2 years now, ever since January 6th. He went out and did 30 Save America rallies all over the country. He endorsed something like 285 candidates. He held over 50 fundraisers, helped raise over $350 million for all these Republican tax stations. President Trump isn't the problem. President Trump is doing everything he can to help Republicans across this country and help Republicans win while he is being politically persecuted worse than any human being in our country's history.
You're seriously going to play that game, Green? You're seriously going to play that game? I just explained to you why the Republicans lost a lot of the seats in the midterms, why they lost the Senate and may actually gain the Congress, but not all of his candidates won. Now, the Republican Party, you need to get through your thick skull that the politics of division and hatred and bigotry, that's not going to work anymore. We just saw a huge repudiation of that in these midterms. We just saw the biggest repudiation of that politics of hate and blood that you Republicans have endorsed. And as for you, Green, you need to stop. This MAGA loyalty crap you're showing has showed me, and it should show all of us in this country, how far people like you have fallen. But let's get back to the real issue here, the red wave that was supposed to come, that has resulted not only in losing seats, not only in losing the Senate, and possibly even, God, I hope so, possibly even the Congress. The red wave has turned into a trickle. For God's sakes, you got right-wing pundits, and not to mention the Murdoch Empire, actually telling you so. A cover from the New York, not the New York Times, the New York Post newspaper calls you Trumpty Dumpty. And others and another one from actually was the New Yorker, showing a picture of an elephant riding a red surfboard, hoping to ride the waves, but riding a small pond. That's what you've done to yourselves. Now, you want to go to war against your fellow Republicans because they're blaming Donald Trump, who does deserve a lion's share of the blame for the midterm results. Because if it wasn't for him opening his big fat mouth in those Save America rallies, then maybe, just maybe, you might win more seats. Maybe you would have won the Senate. But honestly, you can't blame Donald Trump for all of this. Your politics is what's to blame. You have shown no loyalty to this country. You have shown no solutions to saving this country that you say is in peril, that's in danger. In the end of the day, you have yourselves to blame. But you want to blame all the Republicans and the pundits for that? Go right ahead, Green. And speaking of that little statement of yours, he raised over millions of dollars. Where is that money? It didn't go to a Republican voting war chest, the unholy Republican war chest. It went directly into Donald Trump's pockets. Because he doesn't care about the people he was doing a rally for. See, I've watched a few of his rallies. And I hope to God I wish I didn't, because it killed a lot of brain cells in there. Candy and drugs, pornography, got nothing on a freaking Trump rally. Many Christian pastors would say pornography is bad. Pornography kills the brain. Drugs is bad. Excuse me. Drugs are bad. They kill the brain. Listening to a drone freak for over an hour who cares nothing about this country, who cares nothing about the person he's supposed to be rallying for, that is what kills the brain cells. Now, at every single one of his rallies, and I've only watched a handful, he spends an average of 30 seconds talking about the person he's rallying for. The rest of the time, while the QAnon anthem is playing, he talks about himself, how he was being persecuted, how the election of 2020 was stolen from him, and more importantly, how if you vote for Donald Trump, I will save America. He doesn't give a damn about political candidates. And he doesn't give a damn about this country. He has shown you that. But this Republican infighting, I think it's going to get 10 times worse between Republicans and MAGA. And it's going to get 10 times worse, even 100, maybe 1,000 times worse if and when Donald Trump decides to announce he's running for office in 2024. Now, he's scheduled to make that announcement coming this week, possibly the Tuesday the 13th or 14th. I don't have a calendar in front of me. I can't tell you. If that happens, MAGA and Republicans will continue the infighting. Go for it. The rest of us, the Democrats, the Blues, the Liberals, whatever you want to call us, we'll be doing our jobs, trying our best to save our country, to protect our country, to protect its citizens. Not just the ones who can pay for it, not just the ones who have an American flag in their front yard. All Americans. The Americans that you, Republicans, don't care about. You never cared about. CTP, know the truth. God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.